Robert Slim Show.
Oh, why is he?
Hey, it's Mike Remshaw.
Oh, hey, Mike. Can you hold on 1 second?
No problem.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're good. I just had to fix something with the.
That doesn't show the levels?
No, it's bizarre.
Oh, okay. Hey, Mike. How you doing, brother?
Real good. Thanks for having me on, man.
No problem. Thanks for coming on. We got another call coming in real quick. Robert Slim Show.
Hi, it's Amy.
Hey, Amy. How you doing?
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Hi.
Oh, I'm fine.
We actually have an interview that we're starting now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I'll let you get to your interview.
All right. Thank you, Amy.
You're
Shoot
welcome.
us a
Okay.
message, though, on Facebook or whatever.
I will. I will.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good one. Now, Mike, you're a director and producer, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And what is the difference?
Directing is when you're actually kind of on set dealing with the actors and the camera setups, just sort of directly on set.
Telling everybody what to do?
Telling everybody what to do. Producer is basically the guy who kind of is usually not on set, who tells the director what to do.
Oh!
Pretty much.
That's why I was wondering what the difference was. Because, like, producer, I know on, like, a radio show would do the technical stuff, like recording, but I know you guys have cameramen and all that, so I didn't know where that fell in.
Yeah, and nowadays it's become kind of like a lot of times writers are producers also, actors are producers, so they get kind of creative control of their characters. And somebody that's been on a TV show for a while, like when Hugh Laurie was on House for a while, after a few years, he becomes a producer, and so he has creative control of his characters, so they don't do anything that he doesn't like. So it can be a creative thing also, but usually it's somebody like executive producers, usually the people involved with the finances and raising the capital and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Or they work at the studio. And then producers at smaller production companies, they're kind of like the go-to people when, hey, how do we fix this? What do we do here? I need help with this. And it really is just kind of, it's a gray area of what it really is.
Right. It's just a
You
title,
do whatever we
yeah,
want.
It's pretty
Like,
much a title when it comes down
crack
to
the
it.
whip. Yeah.
And honestly, it depends on the show. It's something like the Marvel Cinematic Universe goes through a producer. I think his name's Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
And everything that goes on at MCU goes through that. That's not necessarily the case at some other studios, like say maybe Warner Brothers. They kind of have a reputation for being a little bit more hands off compared to say Disney.
Wow.
So it just depends.
I wanted to ask, too, what does the key grip do? I always seen that in the credits, and I've always wondered what a key grip does.
I'm always curious. I got
Well,
another one, too.
that's like kind of like an electrician kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a whole lot of jobs where you just kind of wonder, like, what the hell does that dude do?
Yeah,
And then you get on a set and you're like, oh, that's what he does. That's his job.
I always picture him, like, hanging from scaffolding or holding the producer's keys or something. Like, here's my keys to the Benz. Don't lose them.
Key grip. That's
Like-
amazing.
What's the best?
I think
What's the
Keith
best
Griffin
boy?
usually
Yeah,
like
the
the
best
dude-
boy.
Oh, the best boy. Yeah, what is that, too?
Hell, I never figured out what the hell was that.
Do you just like point at
And
somebody
sometimes-
randomly and go, "You're the best boy"?
I'm the
Just-
best
just
boy.
Blow everyone behind.
Yeah, and for some reason, for years, like there was like a thing called a script girl, and I was like, why does it have to be a girl?
What?
Right?
Script
It's like the
girl.
bat boy. Like, yeah.
What is she? She's
Why is
just
that-
the girl that
that's
holds
the-
the script. Like,
She hands out the script at the beginning of the day, I assume. Oh, my God.
script girl.
Yeah, so like, does the best boy date the script girl?
They walk down the aisle together.
Yeah. Like some jobs, I mean, especially if it's like a union gig,
Oh boy.
they'll require like goofy things like landscapers, and it's kind of like, okay, chief landscaping crew. That's interesting.
Wow. I didn't know that came into play with filming and stuff, like unions and all.
There's got to be like
Yeah,
landscaping.
I mean, like the indie film world is so different than the major like movie production world. It's not even funny. It's like so night and day.
Wow.
The big movie production world, like when you're dealing with like a Marvel film or something like that, it's crazy the amount of gigs that creates for people and how much money that generates. I mean, it's such a whole different ballgame. on a micro-budget indie film, you know, you can have a crew of like 5 people do everything. But on something big that's like a $200 million budget, you need 2,000 people, or that ain't getting done.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I can't fathom that kind of a crew,
Yeah,
man.
that's crazy.
Like, that's nutty.
I'm kind of curious if, like, with something big like that, if people are just like to their friends or like their children and stuff, like, yeah, I can get you a gig on this Marvel movie, and it's just like this like made up position just to make them feel good about themselves.
The movie business has really changed. Back in the day, yeah, that was kind of true, but now these are all Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah.
It seems like they just want to bang out movies too, like real quick in a couple days, instead of when they used to take months, and it came out a lot better.
Yeah.
And it reflected that way.
Now they crank out, you know, they have these things planned out 3-4 years in advance. They're cranking out. They have these franchise films, and they plan a whole trilogy. When back in like the 80s, when they did like the first one, they had no idea there was going to be a second or third one.
Exactly.
Even when even you could go as early as was it Batman Begins, they had no idea there was going to be a Dark Knight or Dark Knight Rises.
Yes.
But now there would be, okay, you know, we're hiring all of you, we're going to pay all of you to do all 3. And then they do, one of the goofiest things they do on these big studio pictures is they'll hire a team of writers, knowing that they're going to fire them and bring in another team to replace them.
Wow. That's
It's
shitty.
like, why are you doing that? But they do it, and the weird thing about it is when you explain how sort of wacky the movie business is, then you go look at the results, and it's sort of like, yeah, but how can you argue with the results they're getting?
Yes.
That's true.
That's true.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I had a comment going back on how you were just saying how, like, back in the old days, how, like, they didn't know they were going to have sequels. And, like, this whole, like, Marvel, like, doing this thing with the entire universe, and we have all the movies planned.
Yeah.
And, like,
Yeah.
they end up putting in all these guidelines. Like, we didn't quit after Avengers 2. Like, he quit Twitter. He quit the internet. He's like, not working on anything. Just disappeared because of all, like, the stress and all the bullshit he had to do for that movie.
I was thinking, too, though, with Back to the Future, they put in to be continued as a joke. They didn't even think they were writing 2 or 3, and they just did that as a joke. And then so many people bugged them, they made the other 2.
Right. And nowadays, when especially talking about the incident with Joss Whedon, you kind of have to take them, like, there's a tendency to sort of look at everything as an entirety, as like Hollywood as a single entity, and it's really not. It's really 6 different entities that are kind of all sort of doing their own thing that's kind of similar to the other 6. When I say the 6, I mean like the big 6. Sony, Paramount, Warner Brothers, Disney, and Fox, and Universal. They pretty much control all of the entertainment you see on movies and television. But each one of them kind of has their own way of doing things that's a little slightly different. So the problems that Joss Whedon was having may not be a problem that another director would have had. You have to kind of take it on an individual basis. And Guillermo del Toro, he's kind of notorious for always having problems.
Right.
He doesn't like he likes total control, and he doesn't want anybody to say sort of nothing. And then Joss Whedon, what he was complaining about, it's kind of like, yeah, but you know, at this time, at movie 11 in the MCU universe, you're surprised that they want you to set up another Marvel film at this point? It's kind of like, it's kind of like to surprise you.
Yeah, exactly.
But
what do you think they were going to do?
It
Stupid.
still has to be stressful when they're like, you have to work this one thing in. So
but you kind of sign up for it. You kind of sign up for it, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is I understand the frustration with it, but at the same time, you knew this was coming.
And you're getting paid.
Well, that's like the first Star Wars movie.
Not only that, I mean, they're getting paid. They're not getting kind of paid. They're getting paid.
Oh,
exactly.
That's true.
And so it's kind of like, you know, you kind of have to pick and choose your battles. And but was it Josh Trank with Fantastic Four? That seems like that's all on him and not on the studio at all. And so, and there's other times you look at it and go like, there was a famous incident that Terry Gilliam had in a movie called Brazil where he wanted the unhappy ending, but the studio wanted the happy ending, and the happy ending is completely stupid in that movie.
Yeah.
So the unhappy ending is awesome, but they had this like huge fight about it.
Yeah.
And Gilliam sort of turned out right, and the people behind the one with the happy ending were idiots about it. But at the same time, you have a show like Fringe got an extra season because the executives liked it so much.
Yeah, I kind of like an unhappy ending sometimes. Like I don't think it has to end happy.
No,
like
it doesn't.
Kind of like the end of House of a Thousand Corpses, where you weren't sure what happened. It was like kind of open.
And Empire, that didn't end happy at all.
No, exactly.
Yeah, and see, sometimes like Coen Brothers are great for always having like a weird ending where you kind of go, "What? That's the ending? That's kind of interesting."
What happened
You know?
exactly? Mike, how long have you been directing for?
Off and on. I mean, I made a bunch of stuff in the '90s, but that stuff is so awful that it's not to be shown to anyone ever. It's under locking. It's sort of like that's my sort of learning experience. Yeah, glad I did it, but no one can ever see this crime.
Come on, can we like premiere it to the world on the Rob Slim Show?
No, I mean,
World
it's
Brokers
not
premiere.
it's bad, but it's bad.
And what are you currently working on?
I'm working on a project. I've been working on it for about 6 months. I actually kind of have two projects going on. I've got a movie that I shot a couple years ago called Mystic Rising that it's actually been done for a while, but I've been dealing with the craziness that is film distribution.
Oh.
And so that is going to be coming before the end of the year. But for the past 6 months, I've been shooting another project that I'm sort of like not allowed to talk about.
Oh, okay.
But
What's Mystic
So,
River about?
what's that?
What's Mystic River about?
Mystic
Rising. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just a sci-fi film about people who start drinking mana and start getting magic powers and just sort of the weird chaos that ensues. And it's just sort of like kind of like an art house sci-fi film.
Sounds cool.
I like the concept of that. I always like seeing like people corrupted by power, and that's kind of where it seems like it's going.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of like there's a corporation that's sort of controlling everything while this is all going on, and I just sort of get into sort of weird backstories of what could kind of happen if this thing were to actually do it, because I kind of like to take a realistic approach instead of the fantasy approach.
Right.
That's cool.
If people started doing this, what would really happen?
Do you
Yeah.
do you play video games at all, or familiar?
I used to be I mean, I grew up in the 80s, so
Right.
I grew up
Of
with
course.
Atari and the Nintendo, but the honest truth is once you get hardcore into something like filmmaking, you really can't game anymore.
That's it.
Right,
Yeah. It's like when you get laid, you don't play Dungeons and
play.
Dragons anymore. So.
Right.
But I was thinking too of
actually,
like.
Mike plays Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike.
I refuse to.
I was thinking of Final Fantasy though when you explained that.
Well,
like,
what I was thinking of is BioShock Infinite, because
Oh.
BioShock Infinite, it was a game where
Yes.
everybody could buy like superpowers, basically.
vigors they
like
called them.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you drank
So-
it.
Yeah, and I kind of stopped gaming around sort of like the PlayStation 2 era. God, I'm aging myself here. But a lot of that stuff did kind of creep into like stuff like Mana, playing like Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 back in the early 2000s.
Yes.
It's sort of like the idea of like, what if Mana was like a real thing and people were drinking it? And it would be like weirdo homeless people drinking it. It wouldn't be like
Yeah.
That's kind of
what
like
people think.
Bioshock with the splicers.
Yeah.
They were kind of like, yeah, just homeless people kind
Just
of.
like started getting addicted to it. And
Or
stuff
like when
that.
you mentioned like the
Oh,
company
yeah,
that
yeah.
was behind it, that made me think of
And-
like Final Fantasy, like
Yes.
a company behind
too.
something. That's
Like
a cool
Shinra.
spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
One of the whole backstories. One of the whole backstories of a lot of the characters is that some of them get addicted to it because like the more they drink it, the bigger their powers will be. So a lot of them when they drink it, they don't get powers. So they keep drinking it in hopes of getting powers, and so they
Wow.
don't get it. So they keep drinking it, hoping that they'll get those powers.
Wow, that's a really cool
That's
concept.
cool.
Now, what I'm kind of curious about this now, like, what is everybody getting a different power? Is it like based on like their DNA or something, or is it like you could just do
We
everybody
really
could
don't
do the
go
same
into
thing?
it. Like there's one character that gets sort of psychic abilities. Another character gets sort of like I kind of leave it open to interpretation because
Right.
I think one of the problems with a lot of movies now is they sort of spoon-fed everything.
Yeah.
And I understand that you have to spoon-fed some stuff, but I like a lot of stuff to be open to interpretation. To go,
Yeah.
oh, what is that power?
Right.
What are they talking? Like, what is this person addicted to that I don't know about? It gets you
Yeah.
thinking a little bit.
But regardless of all that, we always have to know Spider-Man's origin story. No matter what you do, we have
Three
to have
times.
three
Like,
times in a row. We have to
it.
know how Uncle Ben died and
told
what.
like 20 times.
The first time was fun.
Yeah, because I
They
don't
did
think
it.
we've seen Uncle whoever get whacked enough.
Right,
I think we've got
right,
5 more
right.
times.
I always
It's like
said.
that in Batman's parents. Like,
Oh,
how many
yeah,
times
right,
have
that
you
too,
seen
yeah.
Batman's parents killed?
And I've always said, like, with Spider-Man, and I hope they do it with the newer Spider-Man film, like, you can easily open up a Spider-Man film with him just swinging
Just
in
in
the
the
city
middle. Yeah.
and just, like, narrating, like, last summer I got bit by a radioactive spider.
You
and
know
now
who
I
he
have
is. You know how he
superpowers."
got it. Just show
That's
it.
kinda, believe it or not, that's actually what they're kind of doing. They've
Yeah, good.
actually the rights have sort of are now shared with Sony and Disney, and they kind of have said, look, you cannot tell another origin story. So supposedly he's going to show up in the next Captain America,
Yes, Civil War.
Civil War,
Oh, cool.
but already be sort of Spider-Man, and it's not going to be some sort of like, oh, I get by a spider scene for the umpteenth millionth time.
So
But then
I'm
again,
guessing.
like you saw in the Dawn of Justice trailer, there's the shot of you can tell that it's Bruce Wayne's parents getting shot again for like the 9th
Yes.
time. It's like, how many times do I need to see?
No.
We just
Yeah.
get to see it with
Parents
Affleck.
assassinated.
I know. We got to get to see it with
Affleck.
Affleck.
Actually, that's funny because I just started watching Gotham, and that's in Gotham, too, and I'm like,
Oh,
it's so
jeez.
ridiculous.
Oh, is it? I haven't seen Gotham yet. I didn't know it was in there. Jeez. They have to drag that out every time.
Yeah.
Mike, I think we got a caller. Robin Slim Show.
Go ahead.
Hello. All right. I don't know who that was. Robin Slim Show.
Hello, hi, who's there?
I don't know.
All right, well.
I don't know. I guess they didn't. That didn't work out.
No worries.
Oh,
Really?
What were your inspirations when you got into directing?
Growing up as a kid, I went to the movies and a lot. It was actually kind of frightening to see the whole Back to the Future thing last week, because I remember on Thanksgiving when that movie Dan came out, driving to the theater to watch it.
Oh, it was amazing. Did you see
And
the Jimmy
so-
Kimmel appearance that they had?
Yeah, I did. That was great.
It was kind of sad though. Like Doc was so old he could barely talk, and Michael, I laugh and make jokes at that Parkinson's,
Yeah,
but
but he's sick,
just
and
seeing
it's
what it
kinda
did to him. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's sad. It really is.
It was funny though.
And then, it was really funny, and they did a good job with it, especially under the circumstances.
Yeah.
But at the same
So
time,
it's-
I remember being 15 years old when that thing came out,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, holy crap! I actually lived to see the date that they went to the future.
I know.
Where's my hoverboard, damn it?
You never thought it was coming. It
Yeah.
just seemed so far, man.
Never saw it. Never saw it come. I mean, and it's just funny to watch, if you watch the footage now, you see all these crappy Ford Probes that are turned into these futuristic vehicles. And it's like, wow, it was some crappy car.
They got DeLorean doors on a fucking Ford Fiesta.
Exactly. Like, this is so not the future.
I like that they made fun of Trump running for president, because that was in the first one where he was like Ronald Reagan, an actor, and then they were like,
Yeah.
they mocked Donald Trump. That was great.
That was funny. That was a great callback to the old movie.
Yes.
We caught catching that.
And what do you feel about oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What do you feel about Disney? Do you feel like they corrupt Hollywood? I just feel like they kind of want to control everything. I feel like Disney is
Here's the
evil.
thing.
They're okay.
Here's the thing.
Oh.
No, back in the day, I think Disney was pure evil. I mean, go look at Dumbo. The first damn scene is mommy is taken away. Look
What-
at Bambi. The first scene is
Bambi.
mommy
What about
shocked.
what about Pinocchio, where that dude's like, we takes the little boys to Pleasure Island, and they don't come back as boys, and he's like,
I like when I
He's had a lot
growing
of
up in the
practice saying
80s.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yikes.
Pinocchio? What the hell?
I like when Geppetto bent over, pantsless, and made Pinocchio lie.
Exactly. And something tells me there's a whole other meaning to that nose growing.
You got that right.
yeah, that was bizarre.
No,
I mean,
sexy.
I grew up more on the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes, like Bugs Bunny cartoons, versus the crazy sick Disney crap.
Yeah.
Because Warner got like Looney Tunes got all the flack for all the violence, but Disney was doing all the like psycho weird stuff. I mean, the movie Old Yeller, the whole point of that movie is, oh, I love this dog, and the end of the movie is I shoot my dog. What the hell was to see that?
Yeah, right?
8 years old.
How sad is that, man? What was over Fantasia was like an acid trip. Same with Alice in Wonderland was a fucking like trip, man. That was another one. I think it was written on an acid trip and all. And they
but I think Disney now is. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's sort of like they got the whole Star Wars thing going, but you know, do you really want Lucas still doing that?
Yeah,
Star Wars prequels. So I mean, it's kind of like. That's the thing about the entertainment industry that I love is it's so wacky that none of it makes sense. Who would think that taking away Star Wars from Lucas would be a good thing? In like 1977, nobody would think that.
Yeah, exactly.
But after those Ewoks show up in Return of the Jedi, it's like, what the hell is this shit?
It was like Jar Jar. Oh my god.
What a fucking
One of my
steaming
favorite
pile.
stories of all time is that when they were making Return of the Jedi, George Lucas wanted to hire David Lynch to make it.
What?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, I swear. It's total truth. And David Lynch tells this awesome story about how he went up to Lucasfilm, whatever it's called, Skywalker Studios, and he kept talking about how he kept getting a headache because Lucas kept telling him about these Ewoks. And he was like, what the hell is this? And he got on the phone to his agent, and he's like, there's no way I'm doing this. I can't do it. There's no way. And he actually turned down Jedi to do Dune.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's like what? The teddy bears? Like what the fuck are they?
They're better than those fucking
Yeah,
Gungans,
exactly.
man.
It's like, what the fuck? And the greatest part of Jedi is how the Emperor's best troops getting, like, demolished by a bunch of, like, Ewoks. No.
Teddy bears.
I
are
like the
stone.
logs on the rope, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I did like
Yeah, so, I mean, back to your point about Disney being evil, it's sort of like, I mean, they're all sort of trying to do the same thing, but at the same time, everybody is loving what Disney's doing right now.
That's
And
it.
so you can't, yeah, that's kind of like where you're sort of between a rock and a hard place. Do you criticize them or do you not criticize them?
Yeah.
Because they are, I mean, even Ant-Man had so much bad publicity because the director is getting quitting.
Right.
Yes.
It still came out and made
Right,
almost $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to sort of lay blame at them because it's working. And
yeah.
at least financially, and people are really into this stuff now. And I also think, I don't know how old you guys are, but like millennials have sort of changed the entire business because they can basically sit through anything. And I mean, like millennials like Jar Jar Binks. There's a great quote by what's his name? Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith had a great quote about millennials where he was like, yeah, you know, the millennials, they like Jar Jar Binks. That means, you know, they're stupid, but, you know.
Somebody explain to me, what is
I
the
was going to
age
say,
bracket?
what is a millennial? Are they in their 20s now? Or
That's like basically, most people say it's under like 35. I really think it's mostly under like 28, 25.
Yeah.
I think it's really that age.
Because I'm Generation X.
Yeah.
And I say Generation Y wouldn't even be there either.
Exactly.
I was born in '87, but I really more identify with X than I do
Yeah.
the millennial.
You
group.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of people do, and sort of it kind of damn. It's so weird seeing like I was talking to somebody the other day. They were talking about this old classic music, and I was like, "Oh yeah, what are you talking?" They're like, "Oh, Nirvana, Smashing Pumpkins, Primus." And I was like, "Jesus Christ, that was like when I was like my 20s."
That's still better than anything out now, though, dude.
You get that right.
Yeah, it kind of is. It really is.
Yeah, it was its own shit. It wasn't, you know, you got to sound like this guy or this girl because everything else sells and it
But
sounds
see,
like that.
But what changed drastically was things like American Idol, and millennials did not reject American Idol. And people our age or in our group, we're kind of like looking at this going, oh, no, hell no, we're not watching that shit. But these 25-year-olds, these 18-year-olds, they're all about it. So they don't care that these people, all they're doing is cover songs of other musicians. They don't care. We're like, I'm paying $10 for some cover.
And they buy the album. My sisters.
That's it. They buy
my
the album
younger
of the
sisters,
covers.
They buy the album.
My
It's like,
sister used to do that too.
So,
when
I'm
we
like,
were
you
young.
both
buy
are
the original, but
brainwashed.
they have thrown a wrench into everything.
Exactly.
And so it has changed everything because it used to be like, you know, when I grew up, I had an older sister who was like 5 or 6 years older, and so she was into like in the whole 80s, like the Police and NXS and U2 and all that stuff came out, and she sort of like handed that down to me. And then I get into the 90s, and here comes like Smashing Pumpkins, Nirvana, and Mr. Bungle and Faith No More and that kind of stuff. And so it's sort of like, oh, that's kind of cool and stuff. And now you have like Kelly Clarkson.
I'm going to give you LMFAO. That's what I'm passing down to you.
Yeah, here's LMFAO. Congratulations. I'm sexy and I know it. And you will, I think that so much stuff that the millennials like, especially a lot of this stuff on YouTube, like Pootie Pie, watching gaming videos all the time and everything, it's so disposable.
Yes.
It really is.
That's the problem with it, is you can't sustain that for like 10 years.
I am pretty sure.
That's a big problem Google is going to have, is that when these like 13-year-olds grow up and stop watching PewDiePie, who the hell are they going to push on YouTube?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure if I met PewDiePie, I'd probably kill him.
Hey, Mike.
Heavy, blunt object.
Yeah.
Mike, we have to wrap this up, dude, but where can everybody find you?
MikeRemshaw.com, and I've got there'll be a trailer for Mystic Rising soon. It's coming out this year, either in some capacity as soon as I figure out what I'm doing with distribution. It'll definitely be out probably sometime in November, early December, and MikeRemshaw.com is where you can find me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us, bro. It was a pleasure.
I really appreciate it, man. It was a blast.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
Yo,
You too.
Take it easy.
you can literally use that bronze ashtray right there to kill
All right.
him with.
All right.
You can
Sounds
literally
good
do
to
that.
Hey,
right.
Rob,
We're taking
can you book PewDiePie to come in studio?
He's probably too big for us.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. That's right.
Guys, we're taking a break. We'll be back. Okay, music.